everybody. It is somehow January 25th. I don't know, the most mind-boggling thing. Like, really, things are starting to be a year from when it was like just about COVID, and that is just unfathomable. I can't even comprehend it. Um, Actually, it's interesting. Pretty soon, there are going to be people who have two birthdays during COVID. Wow. Uh, well, anyway, we're talking about birthdays today and how we've made them special for people, our kids, our spouses, whoever, how we've made them special for people who celebrated during COVID, which at some point soon will be all of us. Um, so mine was early COVID, and my kids were all home, and they did a walk to friends' house. So we walked to different friends' houses, and they didn't have my kids didn't lay out any rules, but each of them made like a little mini party. So the last two people we went to, I was like, can we get this to go? Like, it is so nice of you and so lovely, but none of us can eat another piece of cake. So that was like really a delightful day for me. And my husband turned 60, and my kids did a trivia night because he's been involved since COVID started with a trivia game that's every Thursday night. And so they made one for him. And he seemed very delighted, but then he got really disappointed with his 60th birthday being that. Not that his kids didn't deliver, but he had bigger plans for how he wanted to spend it. He wanted to be in a national park with his family. And yeah, that didn't come to fruition. So it's interesting because I'm turning 60 this year, and he wants to home in on my party because he doesn't think it's fair that I might get like a regular thing. So we will see what happens, but that's those were my creative kids. They did both those things, and they over delivered, but we did not reciprocate in the over delivery for our kids. So I have no good stories. They made their own festivities, and we funded like a present or something like that. So they win, and I'm going to move to Jody now.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So we've had a lot of birthdays, and we've had some kind of milestone birthdays in our family, which have been a little sad, but I am glad we got to celebrate my father's 90th last year because we had a big bash. So that we have said many times, thank goodness that was last year, not this year. Um, but we are also not the best celebrators in our house anyway, which I feel bad because I hope whoever ends up with my children will teach them better than we have. But for my son who turned 25, we did plan a game day where the plan was to play 25 games on his 25th birthday. And so, and we kind of, the funniest part is I was trying to look for games that we played when they were little. And I borrowed a couple things from our neighbors who live behind us, like this game Concentration, where you put down the cards and you have to find the matches. And then also Candyland. And they have two daughters. And so for my son, we got their Little Pony version of both of those. And the Concentration game was was so hard that we're like, these horses all look alike. It would have passed me like, they all have rainbows, they all have this. And we were laughing. It took us, and that was our first game that we played because I thought we would make quick work. And it was also the first game our kids ever legitimately beat us in. It took us an hour to play that game on that day. And so we had to do some speeding up to get all the games in. But it was a lot of fun. But it was just, that was an indelible memory from my son turning 25. So, all right. How about you, Jessica?
All right. Well, I think I'm probably the only one here. I don't think I've had a COVID birthday yet because my birthday is February 28th, which was like right at the cutoff. So I got my last birthday celebration in right before all of the stay-at-home orders went out, and before all of the quarantining, before we understood what was happening. And so this, I guess next month, I'm gonna have my first COVID birthday, and my roommate has been asking me over, like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And like she asks me every year, like, I'm not a good birthday. I'm like, even like, what is there to do? But I've never been much of a birthday person, so I hate planning events. I hate doing things in general. So I don't know. My ideal birthday would be I get some cake, I get to eat some good food, I get to sit at home and play video games with my friends, and I'm like, one of those is a little iffy, but same old, same old. None of the family's birthdays have been too exciting on our end either. So,
Which one is iffy, Jessica? Why can't you get all three of those? That sounds
no,
great.
the friends coming over, like, to play video games. Like, we might be able to do it online, but
Yeah.
it's just, it's not the same as having everybody in the same room. But again, past that, like, my ideal birthday is not a lot. I'm very low maintenance. So I'm going to zigzag down to Emily.
So we just had a birthday in our house. My twins turned 14 last Monday. And two of the things they did were COVID related, and one was something that works for now that we've had as a tradition for a long time. So my daughter wanted to do some pottery, and I don't know if the paint your own pottery places here are doing take it home. So, and we're in Southern California, so the weather is cooperative. So she had one friend come over and they sat outside and painted pottery at two different ends of a long table. My son wanted to spend his day playing video games and to be able to just be like up late with his friends online. So he doesn't really see anyone in person. An occasional walk outside with a friend or two, but mostly his contact with friends these days is online. So he and a couple of his friends stayed up, well after my husband and I went to bed, and that made him really happy. But the mom thing that I do for them that we started a long time ago is a little scavenger hunt for their presents, or a treasure hunt. And like something that when I was little and I'd go to my grandmother's house for like a couple weeks in the summer, she would make for me and my cousins. She would just have us hunt for something that we already had in the house. So I just adopted that at some point with the twins. My older son played ice hockey a few years back, and we would always be at a tournament in some crappy hotel on my twins' birthday because of the holiday weekend. And so I was trying to find any way to make that day a little more fun for them. So we started doing these scavenger hunts in like Courtyard Marriott's. But anyway, we did that, and we decided like up until they're 18, they'll get like the number of things to hunt for. That's their birthday. So it gets a little hard as it's older, but sometimes it would just be like a pair of socks, or they always get a box of sugar cereal. This year they're really into Gushers. So they got like a box of Gushers they had to hunt for. And other things we did, my husband loves golf. So when he had his birthday in the summer, we made a little putt-putt in the house. So we used a lot of like yoga mats and foam rollers, and we ordered a few things, but mostly we just used what we had around the house and made different golf holes for him inside the house. So that was a little fun thing for him. And the kids made posters for each other back, like for Mother's Day and Father's Day, they did posters for us. And we also, our niece is having a birthday next week, and her mom on the East Coast is having us all make video messages to send to her. So those are my ideas. Oh, the other thing I've been doing is going to like ordering online from Target, just like $10 for the banner and like the long streamer backdrop. And then for like my daughter likes that, she can take a picture in front of it and she can stick it on her Instagram. Or like we just printed out some pictures of that, sent it to my 93-year-old grandma. So we've been doing a little fun decorating of like a photo spot in the house that seems to make the younger teenagers happy in our house anyway. So I will pass it over to Mindy.
Thanks, Emily. Although I'm feeling after going after you, but I got nothing. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, what did we do? I mean, two of the five, my kids are older, so it's not such an issue, but two of us had birthdays in the summer, and things here were a little more relaxed. We weren't back to the limitations that we are in now. So we were able to enjoy 2 birthdays with some people coming and all outside, and dinner out at a restaurant, an outside restaurant. So pretty normal there. And then one of my sons is a Christmas birthday, so we were all home for that. So we were able to celebrate, but really beyond that, I got nothing. We just, did the for the 2 of us who didn't have primetime birthdays, phone calls, cards, that kind of thing. I don't think there's a lot else you can do. We didn't do any of the big Zoom chats or, I guess, Jody, I'm kind of there with you. We're not terribly celebratory in our house. So I wish I had more, but I don't. So I'm going to throw it right down to Eka in hopes that she can come up and end this on a really positive note.
Well, this year we were lucky enough to spend each of our daughter's birthdays with them. And one of the things I did for them, like we basically at this point, they want things like our one daughter said, I want a Giant Eagle gift card to buy groceries. Really, girl? Okay. So, that kind of thing. But one of the things I always do when I did see them is I always buy a balloon that, since they were little, I would tie onto their chair. And when they came down to breakfast, there was always a balloon tied to their chair. So when we went to my daughter's apartment, I showed up with a balloon like hidden behind my back. And then I ran up the stairs and tied it on the chair in her kitchen. So I did that. But basically, we just kind of did a chill thing. We went to visit our daughters and, for a couple hours and then came home. That's all you can really do. In the past, we've had, obviously, I'm really big into like big lavish family things and whatever. For my birthday, which is always such anticlimactic, I've always wanted really, really like low key things. I just want to go out to dinner. I don't want to party. I just want to be chill. Well, this year, because we couldn't go to dinner because I'm paranoid and I don't want to go anywhere, I get to do whatever I want to do on my birthday. So my big birthday was, I really, really, really wanted to get my car washed. And that's what we did. We went to get my car washed. And the thing that was so funny is, as we're driving to get my car washed, my siblings are all calling and they're like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I'm like, we're going to the car wash. They totally thought I was joking. And so then they called my husband. They're like, is that what you're doing for her birthday? And my husband's like, yes, that's what she wants to do. She wants to get her car washed because it was gross. I kept wanting to do it. And I'm like, okay, now it's a priority. So that was my big birthday. But since we're somewhere warm right now, for my husband's birthday, he has the same birthday as last Monday. We went putt-putt golfing, just the 2 of us, which is usually something we do with the kids on vacation. So that was a little different. We're just, we're just making do, and no big bashes, no big anything. And it's okay. It's okay. We're doing what we can. And birthdays just kind of right now seem, I think we talked about this in our year team meeting about, when we talk about gifts, like everything just kind of feels like what we're in right now, it's a birthday. We're good. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I was just really happy to get my car washed. So that's all I've got to say. So Sue, if you want to end it.
I'm going to tell you, Lori, thanks, Lori. We love seeing you. First of all, for her 18-year-old son, they had an 18-car parade in the afternoon, which is fantastic. And then an outdoor movie night, a fire pit in the backyard. He had 6 friends over and it was special, hoping to get more ideas for her husband's birthday. So I'll just tell you that what I did for my husband's birthday was a little similar to your, not exactly, but I had the backyard set up, socially distant, and I had people come over in groups of 3, like couples. So 2 could sit, 2 could sit, 2 could sit. They had 15-minute time slots. So we went out, and first there was a group there. And so Dan was so happy. And then he was so confused, like, wait, more people are coming? And so I had these like bags for everybody, like a goodie bag. And it got so crazy because people would come early and stay late. And I was like managing the COVID environment. Like, you've got to leave. I'm sorry. You have to go. There's not enough room here. But at the end of the day, he really liked it. So Lori, I don't know if any of these ideas help you out. Okay, let's go to
I have
Christine.
one. Oh,
Okay,
I have
wait.
a quick one for Lori.
Indeed.
Just quickly, someone did this for I believe it was my 50th birthday. A friend organized. She had all my friends send 50 birthday cards, but none of them were signed. And it started early. Sure, I got 50 birthday cards, and it was so fun. I know snail mail isn't very popular these days, but I would get these cards, some nice, some funny, some making fun of my age, but I had no idea who they were from. They were simply addressed to me and the cards, and it was one of the most fun birthdays I ever had, because every day I'd go to the mail, and I had no idea how many were coming. So Lori, I don't know how old your husband is going to be, right? You needed for a husband, but so fun. I just loved it. It's easy to do, social distance. There you go. There's my idea.
Did you try to match them with the people, or you didn't? You gave that up?
I had no idea because they weren't even signed. They were birthday cards, just birthday cards. Nobody signed them. And it was in the beginning, it drove me nuts. It was like, oh my God, who is sending this to me? Like, who knows it's my birthday? Why didn't they sign it? It was a little freaky. And then more and more kept coming. So fun. So there you go. I would
Well, Lori loves your idea. She loves that idea. So that's great. And then then before Jody comes on, we're gonna give Christina's Love the Backdrop scavenger hunt ideas. We also did pottery painting for our tween daughter's birthday, and what does that mean? Same and nights. I also decorate the house. My 14-year-old acts disinterested, but I know he secretly appreciates it. That's awesome. Okay.
So I was going to say, we also, for my mom who had a big birthday, we came up with we all sat down and brainstormed questions that we wanted to ask her about her life, and kind of put them in a glass jar, and she pulled them out and would answer them. And, you know, she just loved having all the attention. I will say she loved it because the questions were kind of funny, but also just having all the attention. And it was really like, and it was also funny because then my dad would try to answer some of her questions, but she did it better. But we learned things like my mother can still remember a song that she learned in Chinese in 2nd grade, and she sang it for us and things like that. So it was kind of a great night. And the last thing I will also say about, you know, we're not big celebrators, but I think Mindy said it has turned out to be all about the cake in our family. Like that we have, you know, really try to make sure that if all else fails, that there is some kind of delicious cake that happens and that can be enjoyed for, you know, a few days. So anyway.
Okay, so I just want to say we've had Lori on as a guest. If anybody wants to be a guest, the ticket in is to put a comment in the in our comments on Monday. Christina, if you would like to be a guest, I'm going to put my email here, and you can email me. We'd love to have you. And anybody else who's interested, just drop a comment in when we're up live, and we'd love to see you with all of us on the screen. Lori's going to do a Valentine's scavenger hunt. My goodness, really good ideas today, guys. Thanks everyone for joining us. Tonight at 6:00 Eastern time, which will not be live for you, so the time doesn't matter, but we're going to be recording our next podcast with Kelly Corrigan. And she has a new podcast called Wonder. I did a marathon of her podcast, and I did it on double the speed. It's goes very quickly, but you have to really pay attention. And each one is amazing. So if you want to take a listen to those, and if you have any questions for her, you can email me or you can put it in the chat. Get it to us before 6 tonight. I love Kelly Corrigan. Anybody else have anything to say? Okay, have a good week. We'll see you next week.